Rishabh, we already have gone live. We
Yes,
would
ma'am.
like to hand over the session to you. Please take it forward and guide us to the end.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I am Rishabh Shah, student of Calcutta Business School, PGDM first year. I welcome you all to the corporate talk organized by Calcutta Business School. It is a pleasure for me to introduce Ms. Jayata Nandi, Regional HR East Kellogg's India Limited, as an honorable guest and speaker of the event. Talking about Ms. Nandi's educational qualification, she has earned a Bachelor of Arts in English from Sri Sikshatan College. Then she pursued postgraduate diploma in public relationship and advertising from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, and again master in social welfare from IIS WBM. She received a silver medal in academic excellence. She worked for Tata Rallies India Limited, Mumbai, as a domestic sales team for around 1.5 years. Then as a lecturer in HR with a B school for 4 years in Kolkata. Varun Beverages Limited, PepsiCo, as a deputy manager HR, worked as sales HR for West Bengal, Northeast and Odisha. Associated with 2 years and 6 months. Presently, ma'am is working for Kellogg's India Limited as a regional HR manager East, where she has completed almost 3 successful years. We are very delighted to have you here, ma'am, and we look forward for today's talk. We all are keen to hear from you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thanks, Rishabh. That's really a very, very well articulated introduction. Thank you so much. It always feels good to hear about yourself from somebody else. So thank you so much for that introduction.
Pleasure, ma'am.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks to the Institute, Calcutta Business School, for giving me the opportunity to have a great interactive session with all the bright minds of this institution, and I hope I can add some value to your learning curve. That will be the entire initiative from my end. In the last 15 minutes to 30 minutes of the discussion, I will be opening up the forum for question and answer. Please feel free in case you have any question around the topic that I have chosen for the day, which is the employee retention policies and practices in the new normal. So I'll just present my slide and screen so that you all can see, and then we can take up the discussion accordingly. Let me know once the screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. Fine. Just 1 second. Yeah. So this is a topic, I was given a lot of topics, out of which I felt that this is something which is very, very close to any HR person that is retaining their employees. And what are the activities, what are the practices, what is the culture we are actually driving it in the organization, so that there is a kind of healthy environment within the organization, and people feels that they want to stay back to a particular organization. So that's the reason I've taken up this topic. Now, the next important thing that I would like to discuss is, before going into the details of the topic, what do you think retention is all about? What is the essence of it? What is it actually, in terms of meaning? Why it is at all important? Why we are, investing 1.5 hours today to understand why employee retention is important, intrinsic to the success of any organization? And what are the values, what are the add-ons it has to an organizational success factor, to the business factor, to the credibility factor? So if I go just by the terminology, or the in the definition in terms of which are the available in books, very, very simple. All of you know, in fact, better than me, because all of you are in students are in touch with the theory part. So employee retention is an activity, an initiative with which the organization tries to make an environment, tries to create opportunity in terms of maybe reward and recognition, in terms of career progression, in terms of promotion, in terms of a role enhancement, so that the employee feels the interest excitement, positivity to stay back into the organization and not look for opportunities into the external environment. So in simple terms, this is the meaning of employee retention. Now the thing is that why it is important. Now an organization has a lot of factors which helps the organization to achieve its goals, and the most, I would say, sensitive, the most impactful input that helps the organization to have a cutting edge in this world of volatility, you can say, or newness, you can say, is its human asset, which are their core employees in the organization. Because every employee who are associated in the organization have already developed or have added a certain skill set into them, and hence it becomes very very important for them or for the management to retain them, and hence it is important. And what value does it add to an organization? Very very important thing: loyalty in from the employee. If you have a or an employee or a bunch of employees who are working for a certain period of time in your organization, then they are the spokesperson for you. They go outside into the world and talk positive about you. They are the brand, they actually brand about you, about the organization. So goodwill, reputation, credibility, all these important pillars that an organization's character is made of is by its people. Because see, technology cannot speak, having good capital cannot speak for you, but human beings can speak for you, and hence employees become, especially long standing tenured employees, mature professionals, become so very important to give you that cutting edge in the organization and into the business world. So that is why employee retention becomes very important. So employee retention as a concept to me is like a magnet of attracting. I think there is a
Keep yourself on mute mode, please.
yeah.
I
So
would request everyone to be on the mute mode. Please don't create disturbance. This is not a casual forum. Please take it seriously. It creates a disturbance for the speaker because she is on the flow. Please don't create such nuisance. Thank you.
thank you, Prajna. Thank you so much. So I hope this concept is very clear with all of you. What is employee retention and why at all we should, think about it, discuss about it, and we should create practices and policies around it. So that is very, very important for us to understand so that we can understand in depth for the next, into the next slides. Next, what I feel is, just one second. Yes. What are the ways we are retaining talent? So here I have brought into perspective what, as an organization, Kellogg is doing right now to, I would say, not only to attract, retain the people who are old timers in the system, but also the best brains who are there, best performers, star performers in the organization. There are a lot of initiatives which we are doing. I will just highlight few of them which came in top of my mind, because in 1.5 hours you might not be able to retain all the concepts. So only those concepts which you can retain, which becomes very very with which you can connect as a student and in the future as a professional. I have brought only those practices today. So see, I have always been associated as an HR but as a partner to the sales function. And what I have seen in my years of experience is that in sales, the most important aspect is driving incentive. For a sales guy, if incentive doesn't give him the adrenaline, doesn't give him the kick, then that person is not actually fit to be in sales. So driving incentive and earning potential for the frontline sales team is very very important. And as an HR partner, we play a very very big role in making our sales employees understand the correlation between performance and the equivalent payout that they will get at the end of every quarter, because here in Kellogg's, incentive is paid on a quarterly basis. So what we have done and why this is a retention input, we have developed a calculator. It's an Excel based calculator where, suppose I am a sales guy and I have certain KPIs to drive every month. So there will be 3 KPIs, there can be 4 KPIs. So generally there will be 5 to 6 agendas that a salesperson drives on. And in FMCG, there are certain agendas which are very, common in all the FMCG companies. Obviously, one being the first important thing is that secondary sales or secondary value. I hope you know what is secondary sales is. So then also I'll just reiterate. When as an organization, you are selling your product to the distributor, it becomes your primary sales. Now from the distributor, it has to go to the retailers, because we as a customer, from where do we buy the products? We buy it from small grocery stores, kirana stores, or we go to bigger, large format stores like maybe a Spencer, a Big Bazaar, or a Reliance Retail. And from there, we do our grocery shopping. So it has to be in the format where the person has to reach the product from the distributor to the retailer. And the retailer can be large format stores, or even small format stores, or even self-service stores. Self-service store is like a Spencer, where you go, you take the products, you go to the billing counter, and then you get your product. So there is no person to give you the product. It is all displayed in the showroom or in the into the Spencer outlet. So the moment one of the, what I was saying is, so one of the important parameter is secondary sales. So secondary sales is when your customer or your consumer is buying your product from the retailer. And the retailer can be anybody. It can be your the kirana store in your own home location, or it can also be a Spencer kind of a format. So that is one. Second important KPI that any salesperson, in particularly in FMCG, drives is distribution parameter. Distribution means how many outlets I'm adding on a month or in a quarter. That depends upon the tenure depends upon the company's payout structure. It is actually, it depends on the week wise or month wise. So how many outlets I'm adding on, because that will help me to drive my distribution. More products will be able to be placed in larger outlets. So these are some of the KPIs that a salesperson drives on. Other will be how many productive bills I have been able to do on a particular day. That means how many bills cut or how many sales I have been able to do on a particular day. Third or fourth can be how many team members who are reporting to me, how many of them are able to earn incentive, because that is also an indication how I am as a team leader. So if I'm having 10 people reporting to me, and out of 10, only 5 people earns incentive, that means I have 50% success index in terms of my subordinates earning incentives. That means I am not that great in terms of a team leader. Maybe there can be lack of me guiding them. I'm not giving them the right input to earn incentive. So these are certain characteristic parameters or KPIs on which a salesperson is evaluated on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, and this is how it runs. So that's the way an incentive is earned. So we have developed a calculator on Excel, whereby putting on your target, and against the target you need to put your achievement, and automatically the monetary amount that you will be getting and that will be credited to your account will get auto populated. So certain formulas have been inserted into that Excel, and hence it gives them the clarity that if I'm achieving a 90% target, okay, so this is the amount of money I'm going to get. But if I'm earning a 100% target, then I'm going to get this payout. If I'm earning 120% or achieving 120% target, so vis-a-vis, this is the amount. So if you have that clarity, automatically you will go for a larger drive, and you will push your abilities to drive more sales. So that is one of the important, I would say, a key aspect of retaining talent, giving them clarity between their effort and their earning potential. Second is achievers. If you can see the icon over here, it is one of our reward and recognition or recognition forum for all people in sales. What is Achievers all about? See, Achievers is an organization it's a vendor from where we have taken the service. It is like a app, mobile application, like your Amazon or any Zomato or a Swiggy. So similarly, it is an app. This Achievers Forum is customized with our values, key values, and growth competency. So they can customize from one organization to the other depending on their value system. So they have customized the application as based on our requirements, our values, and all the employees can log on to Achievers with a particular password and login ID. And there are two ways you can recognize people. You can recognize your peers, you can recognize your boss, and you can even recognize people who are reporting to you. And there is this particular amount of point which comes comes at the end of every month, and which you need to allocate to your people based on their performance. There are two ways of doing it. One is social recognition, and the other is point based recognition. In the social recognition, you don't give points, you give shout outs, you recognize people based on certain core competencies of Kellogg's. For example, you can give a shout out to a colleague saying that thank you. This is and show a gratitude kind of a picture. You paste a gratitude template, and you can say thank you so much for helping me, for example, with this project, helping me with your guidance and input. So you're not giving point, but you're socially recognizing that person on a forum which is seen and accessed by all the global people of Kellogg's. So it's a big recognition for that person. Second is, so this is the meaning of social recognition, where you give a shout out to a person, but without giving points. And the other is point based recognition, where you allot points. You can give 200. So the minimum is 200 points, and it can go to about to around 2000 points or 2500 points. You can give to another person for doing a particular work or achievement. And that point now, so you can say, what is the point going to do? So the moment you get points, at the end of the year, you can see it has summed up to, for example, 10,000 points. This 10,000 points has a monetary value, and there is a shopping cart into that app. But you can redeem that point and buy different kind of things, like we do it in Amazon. In Amazon, we go and whatever we want to buy, maybe apparels or maybe electronic items, or it can be grocery also nowadays. So you go and purchase it. You can purchase it through direct Amazon Pay, also through bank transactions also, or you can do a cash on delivery also. So similar, lot of options are there. Similarly, in Achievers that we are practicing now in our organization, with these points that gets accumulated at the end of the year or end of the month, it depends whenever you want to redeem it. It is completely up to you. You can go to that shopping cart which is embedded into that Achievers application, and you can buy whatever you feel like. You can also buy gift vouchers, you can also buy electronic goods, or whatever is available in that site. So this is one way of recognizing your people. Third is learning and development. Very important. What keeps you focused in your organization is a daily, I would say, capsuled learning modules that comes, which is very handy, and it should be very pertinent. Salespeople do not believe in motivation workshop or leadership workshop. What they mostly believe in, leadership motivation, is equally true when you go up the ladder. But people who are at the front line, at the bottom of the pyramid, for them, training programs which will help them in their daily working. For example, you can do a session on how to execute in the market. What are the executional norms? They will be interested. It can be how you can earn more incentive. They will be interested. Another module can be how do you calculate return on investment, which is very important, because when they go and talk to a distributor, they have to convince them by telling them how they can earn more ROI by working with Kellogg's. So ROI workshop becomes very important for them. Third is, there is a concept called unsaleable in Kellogg. Unsaleable are those products which have reached the expiry date, which has a lesser shelf life. So generally, retailers do not want to keep this unsaleable products, and they return back to the company saying that they are damaged products. The company takes the owners and reimburses that amount in their invoices. So this unsellable, how to manage that, how to reduce unsellable is also another kind of a course that they will be interested in. So give them this, try to give them this learning modules, which will help them to be very focused, which will sharpen their ability as a salesperson more. So this is another impetus for them to stay back, because this gives them a lot of a big sense of satisfaction to work in a better way. Next is employee engagement. Now, every region has their own way of doing employee engagement. We have certain national standardized way of doing it. For example, recognizing people on the National Achievers Forum, where we have town halls every quarter, every month, and also at the end of every quarter, which is actually spearheaded by our MD, Managing Director, where we have an achievers call out. So people who are really have done great job maybe in a quarter, their names are spelled out and the points comes directly from the MD's desk. Employee engagement also can be capsule customized in the region. For example, if I talk about East, which I am taking care of now, when 2020 happened, when the COVID came in, the pandemic started coming in, we went for shutdown, and still today we are working from home. Uh, we could not give, we couldn't say that, nahi, we can't do an employee engagement because now we are working online, virtual connect, so ye nahi hoga. But no, we somehow managed to do online virtual employee engagement. How? So when Durga, for me, the first big occasion in East was obviously Durga Puja. In 2019, we did a big celebration around Durga Puja. However, that cannot be replicated in a on a virtual forum. But we thought of, in fact, instead of giving it a complete miss, let us do something to make the people feel better. So what we did was we started, connecting with all the kids of the employees, and we did a competition, a virtual Durga Puja competition online, where people, sat and they did a kind of a drawing competition, and they sent their entries to us, and we recognized each and every kid with their drawing, and that was circulated all over the organization nationally. Now, obviously, as a parent, like you as an employee, your kid is being recognized on the national forum. For you, it is a boost. For you, it is like the moment your kid is being recognized, it is like doubly your enjoyment. So that's how we have started doing virtual connects. We also did stories like, we touched base the spouses, the mothers, the ladies, basically, in the home front of our employees, and we asked them, how do you feel that your son or your husband or your brother goes to the market? Do you feel scared? Do you feel as an organization we are not taking care of your family member? So we recorded videos and we published it, because we have a lot of initiative that have come last year, which we call CARE, K-A-R-E, not a C-A-R-E. K stands for Kellogg. So we have renamed it as KARE, CARE program, whereby we have doubled the conveyance amount for all the sales employees, so that they can travel in private cars or in meter taxis like an Ola or an Uber, and we have discouraged them to take any kind of public transportation. So that's the reason we have doubled their incentive. This is number one. Under the CARE program, we have ensured that every region had a COVID spoke. Spoke means a single point of contact. So for every region, the regional HR is the COVID spoke, and we ensure that whenever anybody had even a bit of symptom of COVID, maybe even simple like a simple sign or symptom of a headache also, we ensured that they have a conversation, first-hand conversation with the empaneled doctors of the organization, so that at least psychologically, mentally, they are not stressed. Because the moment we feel that I am having COVID virus, we are, gripped by nervousness. We are into the, clutches of fear. We didn't want that panic to happen in the organization. And as a result of which, we have ensured that every person having the slightest of symptom, maybe even if it is not a COVID, because COVID test will happen 2 days after, and then report will come again another 2 days. But we didn't want that to happen for a person, to stay in a sense of or a state of tension. So that's why we as COVID spoke ensured that they have a first-hand interaction consultation with the company empanel doctor, who gave them preliminary vitamins and supplements, so that they are physically stronger and healthy, so that they don't succumb to the virus. We also ensure that every month they get sanitizer, vitamin capsules, mask, and also gloves. So every month we gave them 4 sets of gloves, 4 5 sets of mask, so that they can use it whenever they are going in the market. We also started giving the family members letters from the signed by the director of sales, saying that we are taking complete care of it. We have also initiated ambulance 24 hours ambulance operation and facility for each and every dependent of the employee, including the employee himself and herself. So anytime anybody is unwell, they can call to a toll-free number which is given to everybody, and they get free ambulance facility. We have also ensured that there are certain continuous seminars going on in the organization, such as every quarter once the empanel doctors take seminar on what is going on around the environment, what are the extra safety measures we are supposed to take care, and what is the comorbidity aspect. So everything had been taken on a routine basis. These seminars happens. We are also having a project under Total Health Project, where we are emphasizing on financial health, mental health, physical health, and emotional health. So I will tell you in the next slide what are the kind of initiatives we are taking under each and every health forum. So this is one of the important employee engagement activities. Few other engagement initiatives are like doing a free consultation of, like, I coordinated with Titan Eye Plus and I did a free eye checkup for all my employees. Second was, whenever we have a lot of stock products, we have gone to the Mother Teresa's old age home, and we have given them free breakfast. It makes us feel good. At the same time, we know the products are being used in a wise manner. We have also done, in coordination with an NGO called Bhumi. We have tied up with 16 orphanages all around Bengal, West Bengal. And again, we have served breakfast to 600 orphan kids. So these are some of the engagement initiatives where we also ask employees to partner in these good causes, because at the end of the day, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel that you are doing something which is not only good for the society, but makes you a wiser person at the end of the day. We have also coordinated with Decathlon, which is a sport based agency or organization. And in marathons also, we have participated and ensured that our products are being tasted by all the runners in the participating in the marathon, by giving them free goodies and free Kellogg products. So these are some of the engagement activities that we have been doing, which we feel are giving a lot of impetus for our employees to stay back. So if I, one important data that all of you will be having an idea is, if retention is high, then what is the attrition rate? Do you know what is the meaning of attrition? Attrition means the rate at which employees leave your organization, be it voluntary or be it involuntary. Voluntary means when the employee is leaving, if you feel that yes, he is a good or she's a good resource who has left, the company repents actually that we could have retained it. Those kind of exits are called voluntary exits. Involuntary exits are where the organization wants the employee to leave and the employee has also left. So those are called involuntary exits, where the company has given them an idea that you should leave, maybe because of performance issue, it can be integrity issue, etc., etc. So these are the kind of data. So if this year, last year, the attrition rate for East, I will say, I am not giving you the data of Pan India. East has been only 8 to 9%, which is very, very low if you compare to any other FMCG organization. The retention has been very strong enough. So I have a base of around 40 employees, out of which only 3 people left. So it was a very, very good signal that, or a positive outcome, that we are being able to maintain a good retention forum for our employees. These are some of the pictures I thought I'll share with all of you. So this is all the initiatives that has been taken by the kids of our employees, where they have given their creativity a kind of vent, where they have put the picture of Durga. It was a contest around Durga Puja, so they have done their own drawing. You can see one Durga is also wearing mask. So we found it to be very, very innovative, and all of these kids have got prizes. On the right hand side at the corner, if you see, these are the contest around Diwali. This is Rangoli, or you can say Alpana contest around Diwali. So this has been partnered by all the spouses not only spouses, mothers, sister, all the women who are there at the home front taking care of our employees. We want to actually give a kind of you can say applaud, appreciation, recognition to them, because they are the silent workers. We don't see their the tiring efforts that they give, but because they are there at home, our employees are so relaxed and in the field giving their 100%. So somewhere felt that, and we wanted to recognize them. So these were few of the initiatives that we have driven in the region. Now, here I will be spending, in fact, the majority of our time over here. So what are, as an organization, what are the policies and practices we have taken? So and that too in the new normal, or you can say during and as and when COVID started. These are some of the things we have taken. Apart from this, whatever are the other retention policies, I will tell you. So the first and the foremost was the care program, which I already gave you a glimpse of. So in under care program, this takes care of your entire physical well-being in care program, where your traveling is being taken care of so that you are safe while you travel and commute in the market. Especially we have people in supply chain, we have people in sales, where they have to go to the factory, especially in supply chain as well as in factory setups. So we have depot people who have to go to the supply, the depots where the stock actually exists. They have to go on a daily basis. We cannot keep the stock like that. The manufacturing units where our factory workers work, they get pick up and drop facility, so that they don't take any normal public transport and maintain a social distance. In fact, during lockdown, our company has taken special permission passes from the government authorities to run the manufacturing units, and employees who stayed in a what to say, far away from the factory. What we did was we ensured that they have a safe facility within the factory premises. So they were given a place where they could stay at night, and they were given healthy nutritious dinner, lunch and breakfast, so that there is no issue in terms of health parameter. Again, under care, we have this, as I told you, ambulance facility 24 hours. At any point of time, whenever you feel there is an emergency, a toll free number is feeded into a mobile and we can call them. We have a very good mediclaim policy. I'm not telling you the amount, but over and above, most of the MNCs, like if I name few, it is at par or in fact better than companies like HUL, a Nestle, or a Britannia, or a Reckitt. So these are the organization whom we benchmark. So Mediclaim is very, very strong in our organization, and it is not only for the employee, the spouse and two children, but also for father and mother. It is actually for one set of parents. It is either parents or in-laws. Any set of parents you can enroll in as dependents into the Mediclaim policy. Next is every month, every employee who are in the market and in the factory, be it third-party payroll employees or on-roll employees, doesn't matter. The moment you are in the market, you are in the factory, you are outside the vicinity of your home, you get the entire portfolio of masks, gloves, vitamin capsules, sanitizers, etc. And that too in 4 to 5 sets, so that it is sufficient for you. In every forum, whenever we get a chance, an opportunity, be it a monthly JC meeting, which we call here JC, Journey Cycle Meeting. So monthly meeting, any town hall, any kind of team connect, it is our COVID spokes responsibility to run the care policy over and over again, so that people knows the 10 commandments that we are supposed to follow. For example, you have to wash your hands 10 times. Whenever you go to the market, you have to maintain social distance, you have to wear a mask. If you're wearing mask and you're disposing in the market, it should not be disposed in any open space. It has to be disposed only in the dustbin, because in the mask you have Kellogg's logo, and as an organization we have to be responsible. So that's the reason we cannot dispose our mask anywhere in any litter. Then obviously, apart from these facilities, our I mean, our we have a modern trade division also. All the people working in modern trade, all the people working in the GT channels, all of them are covered under the care program. So they get extra conveyance to come in the market and work, so that they don't feel that no, we have to convey by public transport, because we are not given that benefit or facility. So that is being taken care of. Sorry. Next is, if you can see, there is a policy called locate your day. Now, as I told you, we are still now working, doing a work from home, ensuring a work from home model. But if you understand, sometimes it becomes very, very claustrophobic to continue work from home, because we do not work in silos. We all work in a social gathering. We want that human interaction. We want that human touch. So the company has given us a complete, I would say, freedom, space, where you as an employee can judge and make decision for yourself, whether you want to work from home, or you want to work from office, or you want to work from any remote location. You take the call. So locate your day is, you are telling the company that today I'm working from home, or tomorrow I'm working from office, or on a third day I'm working maybe from a in a place like a Sundarban. I want to go for a vacation and I'm working from Sundarban. So it doesn't matter. You work from anywhere, as far as you're productive and you are mentally, physically, emotionally healthy. It doesn't matter from where you're working. This is the policy which is called locate your day. Just give me 30 seconds. Just let me plug in my charger. I'm extremely sorry for this. Just give me some few seconds.
No issue, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So I hope locate your day is clear with all of you. Next is total health. Now, if I show you the logo of total health, how we are doing it in the organization. So if you can see this on the left hand corner of the PPT of the slide, this is a total health logo. Now, if you see, there are four semicircles surrounding the main circle. So here, the man with a head is basically symbolic of your mental health. The heart is symbolic of your physical health. Then you can see an arrow in green. This is the symbol of financial health. And finally, a lot of people there you can see. So this will also take care of your emotional health. So now the first quarter, that is from Jan to March, we were focusing only on the physical health. Again, from April to the next quarter, that is June, we will be emphasizing on financial health. So this way, every quarter, so for all the 4 quarters, we will be focusing on one particular state of health. So in total health, in physical health quarter, which was from Jan to March, we actually drove two important programs. What was that? We called it mini challenges, mini leap challenges, leap towards a fitter you. New year, new you. So that was the logo or slogan, you can say, for this physical health quarter. We introduced two important challenges, mini leap challenges. The first challenge was, you have to record your miles. How many miles are you walking? So there was an app giving to them, and we told them, register yourself in that app, and automatically whenever you are running, your kilometers or miles will get recorded. So the person or the employees who are having the highest number of miles will get a decathlon voucher at the end of the quarter. The second mini challenge was, with a chair, you have to show how many poses of workout you can do. So now from this, you can understand this was completely focusing on your physical health. And also I am responsible for coordinating with a person for doing yoga sessions. So she will be doing asanas and abhyasas, which will help them to enhance their physical health. So this yoga which we are going to do, more than the mental health, will focus on the physical health, maybe on the digestion, because we are continuously sitting at one place and doing our work. So how to have a proper digestion, how to have a better, I would say, thought process by having a fitter body. What is the right way of eating, and what is the right portion of eating? Everything in the yoga will be explained, yoga session. So this way we are doing a lot of initiatives and seminars. We also emphasize that, that International Women's Day have just gone by on 8th of March. What we did was that we introduced a series of connecting webinars, where we said that it is beyond only International Women's Day, because we as a employee friendly and specifically diversity oriented organization should focus on having Women's Day every day. Why only on International Women's Day? So for that, we have tied up with a vendor called Inner Hour, and we are trying to find out different ways of keeping peace and safety and health issues every day in the house as well as outside the house. So these are ongoing webinars which will continue to have. So this was my total health project. So these are the 4 pyramids, or you can say the 4 pillars, that we are going to focus on in the entire year. So this is a year life project. The entire year will be taken into consideration. Now this is about total health. Next is, if you can see the small bits and pieces, what are the things we have done in the new normal? One is our induction and orientation used to be completely physical, face to face. We have completely revamped the entire process into an virtual onboarding, which we have named it as K Pragati. If you can see here, there is a small logo over here. So this K Pragati is a training session specially designed for the management trainees whom we hire through campus drives. It is a 13 weeks of induction, where they get a hands-on experience with the different stakeholders of a sales role. For example, we will ensure that they start from scratch, from the ground level. They will have a 4 weeks of stint with the distributor salesman. So they will start the day with a gate meeting. They will go to the entire route. They will start their day with the first outlet. They will end their day with the last outlet in that entire route, and they will see how orders are taken, how the distributor salesman deals with a customer, how they take order, how they ensure objection handling, how they do visibility, how they do their merchandising, how do they count on stock, how do they know that next day or next week this amount of stock will be finished, and hence I have to take order of a new set of SKUs. So all these things, in the first 4 weeks, the sales trainee is given a hands-on shadowing onboarding experience with the DVSM, which we call DVSM for a distributor salesman. In the next another 4 weeks, that is 1 month, they will work with the merchandiser to see how they do merchandising, how scores are calculated, how what is the level of I would say executional visibility each and every outlet should have. So that educational knowledge is imparted. Next, they will have a SO, sales officer general trade stint, which they will be actually getting into. So they get a shadow practice of their own role. Then they go to the next thing will be with the modern trade sales officer, because see, we don't know that in which area the sales trainees interest will be. So we give them a slice of both general trade and modern trade, and then we leave it on him as well as the vacancy existing within the organization where the person can be suited best, because every sales trainee will have their own way of understanding a particular concept and reciprocating to a particular concept. So this is the K Pragati program. And at the end of the 13 weeks, we will have a graduation ceremony as well, where they will be giving their presentation to the director and to the senior leadership team within the organization. And then they will be graduating. We will give them an e-certificate. And after that, they will be given their independent location and geographies, headquarters, from where they start as an independent sales officer. So this is a K Pragati program. Next is, if you can see, K LinkedIn Learning. We have tied up with LinkedIn, and every person within the organization can have a free access to all the learning modules of LinkedIn. So this is an on the go you can learn. You don't have to be at your home. You don't have to be in front of your laptop. You can learn even while you are listening to a, in your mobile with your handset with a headphone. You can learn on the go, because most of our sales officer might travel in a local train. They might travel in metro or buses. So we ensure that they have an app, LinkedIn app, inbuilt into their, I mean, downloaded into their mobile, so that learning becomes easy, accessible, and handy. So that is LinkedIn Learning. Next is, if you can see, frontline heroes. I have mentioned a point called frontline heroes. Now, when this 2020 happened and the new normal started to came in, pandemic started to come in, we have all seen most of the areas were under complete shutdown. There were containment zones from where our salesperson couldn't come out. In many cases we have found uh, unconditional, proactive efforts being taken by a salespeople. The company has never told them that go out in this situation and work. As I'm telling you, even till date, right now I'm working from home. So there is no compulsion on anybody that you have to go to office or you have to go to the market. But they took the owners, they went to the local authorities, they took the passes, and they ensured that Kellogg is tagged as a food necessary item. The moment it became a necessary item, allowance or passes were given to all our sales officers, and they started going to the market. These examples of behavior, exemplary behavior, heroic activities had to be reflected somewhere. So what we did as HRs, we started collecting stories from each and every region and started to publish those stories on the national forum, so that all our involved sales officers get the shout out, get the necessary reward and the fuel to continue that great work. And it has really paved us a lot. People felt so recognized, people felt so happy that when their faces, their names were spoken by the MD, by the sales director, it automatically gave them that sense of pride, which maybe boosted them to go that extra mile. That was the story of frontline heroes. uh, and the small picture that you can see, I have already told you, that is a virtual onboarding session. So we have completely translated our face-to-face market oriented working into virtual onboarding. And last but not the least, though there are many more initiatives which I might not be able to finish today, but one more important thing which comes very strongly in my mind is celebrating Women's Day. Now we are the HR for the sales function. In sales, we also have diversity employees, that is women. When we spoke to them, we wanted to actually celebrate them in Women's Day. We started speaking to them and we started saying that, tell me, when you go to the market, what are the hazards as a female employee you face? So the most pertinent thing came was sanitation. They cannot use or they had, they had a hiccup in them to use public toilets, public washrooms. And being a lady or being an employee also, forget being a lady, even being a human being, you will understand that's a very real fact that is coming out. That is the access to hygienic washrooms for a lady. So we understood that this is a burning concern and we should address it. What we did was we touched base with an organization called PSafe. So PSafe makes products which can be used in public or in washrooms which are not hygienic. And by using these PSafe products, you can make your washroom very hygienic. It comes in the form of a spray and some tissues. We started circulating, there is a blanket product which will have a certain sets of I would say sanitizers specially made for the washrooms, and napkins which was circulated among all our women employees who goes to the market, so that this pressing problem of using a public washroom is at least not in their mind while they're going into the market. So we felt this is one of the biggest way of celebrating womanhood, or woman celebrating a woman's day. So this is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it, though I could not paste the pictures, it would have been great if I have pasted the pictures. What I did was, this was before the COVID had hit us in the year of 2019. I invited all the third party modern trade ladies who are called internal store promoters. So if you go to any big large format stores like Spencer, you will find these ladies telling you about the product. So those are called ISPs. They're promoters of your product. I called all of them. And I also called a lady from a very reputed NGO. And I requested her that please help them to understand. See, there are many ISPs who are capable enough to become big professionals, but opportunity was not there with them. Maybe financially they were not very strong. They did not get the right opportunity, and hence they are where they are. But that doesn't mean in any parlance that they do not have the ability to grow in the corporate ladder. So my only request to the NGO lady was tell them what are the career opportunities they can have at this stage, what are the initiatives they need to take to build on their career, and what are the hygienic ways in which they need to sustain themselves. So the lady spoke on women empowerment, on counseling on different career aspects, and we also at the end of the session, we gave a lot of Kellogg's products in goodie bags to the ISP, because the ISP will promote your product, but they don't have that money to buy your product. So we wanted them to taste the product, and hence we gave them the product which they sell on a daily basis. They were very happy, and we thought that this is the best way of celebrating Women's Day, by recognizing the true women in the market. They are the warriors in the market who actually sell our product. So these are some of the way we feel we are retaining our employees. Next is, I'll just show you the slide, it got stuck. Okay. So one more thing which I have not made a slide on, but is very, very pertinent, I'll just tell you.
Ma'am, unmute yourself.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So another important aspect, I think, as an employee, more than a spokesperson right now, has helped me to retain or feel very, very comfortable to stay back and work more years in this organization is the dignity, the respect that we get in the environment, the respect that is there for each and every employee. We have, as an employee, I have access to my MD. He, in every town hall, he directly gives his number and tells us any issue you have, you feel that you can't share with anybody, please feel free to reach out to me. This is my number. So that trust, that sharing the MD's number with each and every employee, no matter what is her or his designation, tells a lot about the culture of the organization. Second, POSH is a very, very important legal aspect which is inbuilt in Kellogg's, that is prevention of sexual harassment. And and prevention of sexual harassment doesn't mean it's only for women. It can be equally for a man or for any diversity or any inclusive employee. So your ability to protest in case you are facing any kind of trauma or assault, even a verbal assault can come as under POSH. So these are some of the things which I feel as an employee very, very secure to come into office every day. And very, very interesting, in my office there is no biometric system. You don't have, there is no timing to come in the office and no timing to go out. Whenever you feel free, you can come to the office, and whenever you feel you can go, you have finished off your day's work, you want to leave, you can leave. So there is no that hierarchy is very, very hazy in Kellogg's. If your boss comes in and you want to go to your home before your boss has left, you don't need to take permission. So that's the culture. You are an employee, everybody is an employee. It's a democratic culture that runs in this organization. Next is leave. Whenever we want to take leave, we don't have to take permission. We just need to inform our seniors, just to align them that I am not going to come tomorrow because I'm on leave, or I'm taking a leave tomorrow. So there is no permission to be taken. Your leave is your leave, so you take it. Just keep your bosses or your managers informed. So that's the thumb rule in the organization. Next is very, very interesting, because now our life has become on virtual connects. The start of a day and the end of a day, which used to be there physically in the office setup, has blurred somewhere. Today we get calls even at 9 in the night, and our call can also start at 7 in the morning. So that bifurcation of home space and office space has somewhere got diluted. But because our life has become more on the virtual platform, so that creates a lot of stress. So our organizational leadership team understands that. So we have been given a leave called pit stop leave. What is the meaning of this pit stop leave? Whenever you have seen a formula race, right, Formula 1 car race, you have seen that when the race starts, the car, even if it takes a lot of speed, at some point of time it will go and change its tire, and the driver will take a drink of water, a glass of water, and drink. Why is that required? Because that speed wounds or tears the outer layer of the wheel of your car. And if you continue that way and finish the race, there might be an accident. So the same logic applies here. If you feel at any point of time that you are exhausted, you are not being able to give equal amount of energy, you take a pit stop leave. Next day you come refreshed, and you again come back to work in that way. So pissed off leave is a mandatory leave you have to take at least once in a quarter. Next is maternity and paternity leave. You know that maternity leave is a legal thing which every woman employee who is pregnant or is expecting will take a maternity leave of 6 months as mandated by the compliance or legal aspects, labor laws. But in Kellogg's, along with maternity leave, which is prevalent in every organization, we have paternity leave. So anybody who is becoming a father, not only biological father, even an adopted child, will get 4 weeks of paternity leave. Similarly, for a woman, if the woman is becoming a mother, not only biological mother, even an adopted child, she will also take maternity leave. So these are some of the policies. I just wanted to give you a taste of those policies, which are prevalent in the organization, and hence I feel that these are some of the magnets that helps the employees to be retained in the organization. So this is, I hope I could give you in certain capsule what is the policy and practices prevalent in Kellogg's, which has a very high rate of retention sense within the organization. My next slide is any question if you have around this. I think I'm on time. So questions, please.
May I ask a question?
Anybody can ask the question.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Sanjeev.
Myself is Professor Sanjeev Biswas. I teach the
Yes,
Business
sir.
Science
Please
and
tell me.
Operations Management here. But you know what? I can't resist myself, but entering in
Sir,
the
your voice
discussion.
is not audible.
Yeah, my voice is audible.
Sir,
Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I can't resist myself other than entering into the discussion. And after your such a wonderful presentation, and the most important thing is the work culture of Kellogg's. I mean, I am highly impressed with the work culture of Kellogg's, and I truly believe that any organization only stands well if it respects its employee. That's the whole point in time. But this is one side of the story. But the other side is that my only request to you that if you can highlight the achievement of the employees in lieu against this kind of culture, how hard the employees are working and how they are achieving. Yeah, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
So sir, is there any question?
Yeah, my question is, this is one side of the story that you have just said. There is the culture, the benefits, whatever respect the organization gives. But I request you to say something about in against this kind of benefit, how hard the employees are working for the organization, how they are achieving their targets. If you can highlight that.
Okay, first of all, thank you for the question, sir. Okay, so I think everybody, not only in Kellogg's, whenever we are given a particular task, we try to put our best foot forward for anybody. Now, how hard they're working, I would say that if I take the balance of the pandemic, well, for us, it might sound a bit oxymoronic, but for us, the pandemic had been a blessing because people have now moved on to more nutritional valued food, which was missing for so long. Initially, we were happy with a luchi and paratha, or in the morning, a roti and a sabji. But now people are more have become more health conscious, and they want to have a full nutrition diet, is what we say. So they are moving now more towards products like a Kellogg's, maybe a oats, a granola. So for us, it has been a blessed year. We have earned double-digit profit, being from 1,000 crore company. I'm just talking about India operations. So from 1,000 crore company, we have moved to a 1,500 crore company in a span of 2 years. So that's a big, big jump for us. How hard people are working. So this figures tells you that people are achieving their targets. So even if it is hard, it is not impossible. How another data I will tell you. Another data was that sales incentive, which in our company we call it SIP, sales incentive plan. Generally, people earn 100% incentive, that is the maximum, or 110% incentive. This year, people have earned 140 to 130% incentive, that is the average I'm talking about. So 140% target means basically 2x incentive. So as an employee, if you are entitled to get suppose a 1 lakh incentive for the year, you end up getting 2 lakh. So basically your CTC is actually more than what the company has declared in your offer letter. Okay, in reality, last year I'm talking about. So I think people are working hard, no doubt about it, but you cannot work hard if your company is not giving you the support. How long will you stand with the motivation if your company is not giving you the
Exactly,
push?
exactly. That's the thing that I wanted to you to say to our students. That's why I asked these questions to you, to
Right.
let them know that everything is a proportionate thing. If you work
Absolutely.
hard, organization will respect you, and if organization respect you, you have to reciprocate the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. Any other question, please?
Ma'am, there's a question
Yes, Rishabh, tell me.
from Shivam Kumar Jaishwal.
Okay.
He's asking you, ma'am, that what are the factors that affect employee retention?
Okay, so there can be a lot of factors that affect employee retention. Well, I feel the most important factor is create an environment that is not too much stressed. Sometimes an employee can stay even without getting reward and recognition, provided he has peace of mind in the organization. So the first thing is that give an environment where the person can speak up their mind. They can go to bed with peace of mind. So first is that retention. That is, you sleep, you have a sound sleep at the end of the day. You don't have to sleep taking pills, sleeping pills. So the first thing is stress-free environment, peace of mind. I think that's the most important, intrinsic and untouchable, but the most valuable factor that will ensure that you are staying. Otherwise, see, an employee will not get promotion every year. Promotion can happen maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line, right? But you have the patience to stay for 4 years for the next promotion. Why? There has to be certain other factors that is affecting your life, and that is your peace of mind. I think that's the most important thing. As an employee, I'm saying, not from any book, because right now I'm not referring to any book. This is the first thing. Second is obviously the kind of package you are getting. You will, as see, I'm talking about a person who is always in a mindset of growth, wants to prove himself or herself in a constant, it's constant in his or her mind, will always benchmark his or her salary, perks, and benefits, I mean the entire CTC package, with his or her colleagues or his or her friends who have passed out with him or her in the same year and in similar industry. So there will always be an unknowing competition in your mind, that whether I am in the rat race, I'm ahead, or I'm somewhere in between, or I'm at the threshold level, am I a low hanging fruit? So if you think your company is doing a benchmarking exercise, and every year there is at least an average inflation, taking inflation into factor, there is a kind of increment every year. That is another positive sign of your employees getting being able to retain your employees. Third is timely reward and recognition. Time and reward and recognition doesn't mean every time you have to give a voucher, every time you have to give a promotion. Call, which I have done. I have called the spouse and have congratulated her husband with for the ensure good work that he or she is doing in the market. So that simple HR call to the spouse can also make wonders and build wonders in the life of that employee and the family member. Simple letters congratulating the parents of the employee, that what wonderful kid you have read, that he is doing wonders in the organization, and building on the business of the organization can be another initiative of retaining employee. And then the other thing is like having appraisals on time, doing the right unbiased career conversations, having a succession planning in line, where the employee can see and have a clarity about the career growth in the organization. He knows or she knows that, okay, these are the factors I need to achieve in order to reach this into this designation, and this is the number of years I need to invest. So that clarity is also equally important. So now if I have to sum up, what are the retention factors or drives that ensures a person within the organization? First is stress-free environment, having a great work culture. Second is will be on-time reward, timely recognition. Third is innovative way of recognition, like sending a letter, sending a mail, sending even a simple WhatsApp message, and simple things like sending cakes and flowers on birthdays, anniversaries. These things are done by every organization. Having virtual time-to-time connects, giving sessions, free webinar sessions to all family members, including the employees on COVID, what are the precautions to be taken, and the seminar should be with a doctor. Then only it will add value. Then the employee will have a trust, because see, I'm not a technically sound person of a COVID virus, how to handle it. So give it from a doctor's point of view. Doing a safety council from a military body, an ex-army person, or a person from an NGO who has worked on these aspects, builds a lot of trust in the seminars. So I would say go with the flow, go with the culture of the organization. And it is very, very important that you have your own mind, something different, something innovative should always come in the organization. Otherwise, you won't get that recognition. So these are some of the things you can do to have uh, an environment where people will look forward to stay with you and work with you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there's another question from Shwati Goswami.
Okay.
She's asking, ma'am, what is your biggest accomplishment of Kellogg Company?
Biggest accomplishment of Kellogg's. See,
Ma'am, yours biggest accomplishment.
my accomplishment. Okay. See, accomplishment can be perceived different ways for a different person. For me, accomplishment can be a promotion also. Accomplishment can be not a promotion, but I have a very strong team who sees my efforts and is very glued to me. I have been able to build a team. For a person like me, that can also be an accomplishment. Third could be, as an HR, I feel that in my region attrition should be the lowest compared to the other region. For me, that is a green flag. So that can also be an accomplishment. Now, if I have to give you only in one word answer, well, my accomplishment has been after joining Kellogg's in 2018, in 1.5 years, I've got a promotion. So that was a big happy moment for me. And other things I would say that I have in 2.5, 3 years that I'm working here, I have been very, very successful in having a very, very strong knit team, particularly the sales force. How do I know that? So for anything, even if somebody has got a scolding from the manager, they come and talk to me. So for me, that's a big achievement, that somewhere they feel that I'm a person who can be trusted, who will be confidential of not divulging information. And hence I feel I have earned a lot of credibility in my system. So for me, this is the accomplishment.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, next is from Insha Hussain. She's asking, ma'am, I want to ask you, what tips or advice would you give to someone interviewing at Kellogg's company?
Okay. First of all, you should know your the function for which you are coming for the interview. You should know the function very well. What do I mean by function? So if you're coming for a supply chain role, you should know how supply chain works. Though you are a fresher, but you should have a clarity from the theory that you have studied and from the internship that you have done or you will be doing in your MBA tenure during an MBA course. So what I see, everybody will have their own style of seeing. So for me, the first important thing is the technical knowledge. Second is very, very important, attitude, your intent to learn. You might not be that great somewhere in the technical knowledge, but are you very open to learning? Then I will give more importance for you on your ability to grasp knowledge faster. So your ability to learn, your intent to learn, to grow. So that positive side, I will definitely try to find out from the interview. So these two things is what I think is important. Apart from that, how well you handle questions, what is your personality like, do you fit to the culture of my company, and whether you have any problem while taking the interview. See, it's not that only we will have a we will judge you, you can also as an individual judge the organization. So both things has to marry each other to be finally selected for the role. So yes, so if I have to sum up, technical knowledge and attitude and your intent to learn.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Ma'am, Shufal Devnath is asking, ma'am, what are some of the challenges that the food and beverages industry face today with respect to employment and the retention?
See, FMCG. First, let me tell you about FMCG. FMCG is an organization, as an industry, uh, is an industry which will always run whether it has a pandemic or not, because FMCG, and that too in foods, right? So Kellogg's belongs to the food category of FMCG company. So if I have to talk about food sector, see, no matter you're earning, you're not earning, no matter it's pandemic or there is a normal situation, you will eat. You can't live without food. So I would say that food is a cream or the crust of any FMCG organization, and you should start make yourself ready to find opportunity in this sector, because there is no dearth of job in this sector. Yes, movement might be slow, starting salary might be low, but that doesn't matter. Opportunities are also more, and no matter recession hits or inflation hits, you will never have lack of jobs. This much I can tell you in FMCG food sector. And you said, what are the challenges they are facing? Food sector is not facing any challenge. In fact, you do a data survey, you go to Google and do some search. All food sector, Britannia, I mean food companies, not sector, companies like a Britannia, a Kellogg, a Nestle, all these organizations have had a double-digit profit in the last year. So it's a boom for them. Okay. Coming to beverage, you have to now tell me beverage, which category of beverage. Is it a dairy beverage like an Amul or a Mother Dairy, or a beverage like a Pepsi or a Coca-Cola? If you're talking about Pepsi or Coca-Cola, there has been a decline or a soft growth, because Pepsi and Coca-Cola are not essential food items, and hence their demand have gone down. There has been a steep decline in the demand during the COVID, but now again the demand is on the rise. Also because seasonality, summer has hit it in, and COVID relaxations are there in the market. This is one. If you go to beverage like Amul and Mother Dairy or Metro Dairy, it is always on the high. So food essential items is always on the high.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, Indranil Hazra is asking, ma'am, does external training provide better knowledge than transfer training, which is provided internally?
Well, I feel whether the training is internal or external, the training that actually impacts is on-the-job training. So on-the-job training, any kind of shadow practice has a better impact than any kind of classroom training.
Okay, ma'am. Lastly, ma'am, the last question. If the person candidate doesn't meet up to the target, how to one should motivate it?
Can
It's
you
asked by
repeat?
Neetu Kumari.
Can you please repeat once
If the
more?
person candidate doesn't meet up to the target, how do one should motivate it?
See, you are talking about a candidate who is an employee or a candidate who has come for interview. I could not understand that difference.
Neetu, can you please just open up your camera and ask the question directly to ma'am?
Hi, Neetu. Thank you for the question. But please, can you clarify? Motivate whom? Who is unsuccessful from the employee point of view or from a candidate point of view who have come for an interview?
Candidate point of view.
Okay. So if somebody has come and could not make it, see, the point of contact or the point of touch base with the candidate is limited, right? So person comes for an interview, gives the interview and goes back. So the point of interaction or the space or the time of interaction is very limited. I don't think we actually can motivate that person. But if at all we want to motivate, we can give him the right kind of feedback on the criteria he or she has been rejected, so that the person can work better on those criteria and maybe in the next attempt can do a better job. I think honest and true, fair feedback will help the person. Any other question?
Thank you, ma'am. It was actually a very fruitful session, ma'am. Ma'am, now I would request Simran Sahu to give you a formal vote of thanks from our side, ma'am.
Sure, Rishabh. Thank you so much.
Simran, it's up to you.
Thank you, Rishabh. First of all, a very good evening, everyone. So we have reached to the end of this amazing corporate talk. Today, I, Simran Sahu, student of Calcutta Business School, PGDM first year, take this opportunity to put my heartiest thanks to our honorable chief guest, Ms. Jaita Nandi, Regional HR of Colux India Limited, for gracing this event. Thank you, Ms. Nandi, for enlightening with us with your inspiring and motivating words. We did learn a lot from the session, like the essence of relation, importance of employee retention, what values it add to an organization, employee retention strategies, the behavior of the company in the new normal, as well as retaining talent in the ways of driving incentive potential, achievers, learning, development, employee engagement, policy practices, and many more. I am definitely sure all my friends will grab all the good points. I would also like to thank our principal, Sir Dr. Sumit Kumar Don, for organizing this event, which would be very fruitful for us in the future. I would like to extend my gratitude to thank the professor for all the support and guidance they shower upon us, and Pragya ma'am for giving us this golden opportunity to connect with you. Moreover, we all look forward to have many more powerful sessions from you and keep learning new things from you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Simran. That was really kind of you. Thank you.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
And everybody have a good day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. But as you know, the second wave of COVID has hit it. So please maintain social distance.
Yes, ma'am. We will,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Sure,
Wish you a
ma'am. Thank you,
happy
ma'am.
weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice talking to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.